Hi everybody, welcome to Life in France. Life in France versus the UK. And today's video, I'm going to talk about bodybuilding. Something that's been very close to my heart for the last 40 years. Unfortunately, due to injury, I can no longer do it, but I used to do natural bodybuilding competitions. Joe Wilder pose. I started at the age of 14, initially to build myself up for rugby, and then I got into natural competitions in my sort of mid-20s, and the last competition was at 42. Unfortunately, I've torn my shoulder ligament, and I've got the choice of having an operation and no bodybuilding, no bench pressing anymore, or don't have the operation and still don't do any bench pressing. I've decided not to have the operation because I am still quite physically fit. I'm just a normal sort of man now rather than Superman. So I don't fancy the operation. It's supposed to be extremely painful. Guys, stick around. As a little treat, I'll show you one of my bodybuilding posing routines as a natural bodybuilder when I was 28 years of age. So, bodybuilding in France compared to the UK. Firstly, in the UK, there are a lot of health clubs and a lot of gymnasiums. From your general sort of keep fit health club, where you have a swimming pool, spa, and a few light weights, to your real sort of blood and sawdust type gym, where everything's messy, the bars are all bent and rusty, and same with the barbells and dumbbells. But everyone in there is serious about putting on maximum size and really training hard. And those are the gyms I actually prefer. I've not actually seen a gym like that in France yet. Admittedly, obviously I live in rural France and I've only been to 2 gyms in 2 towns. The closest, Pontivy, is 25 minutes away, and I did train there for about 4 or 5 years. The other gym I've been to is in Lorient. Again, that's 25 miles away. There's nothing closer. And the reason I stopped training at the gym at Pontivy was because the guy got rid of the squat rack. What sort of gym gets rid of the squat rack? That's my sanctuary. I used to train really good on legs, and that was always my strongest muscle. For them to get rid of the squat rack, I had to set up my own gym. So nowadays, both Naomi and I train in our own home gym. Guys, there's such a thing called muscle memory. This is only our 3rd week. I'm now going to do 140 kilos. For a beginner, it might take several years, even more, to get up to this sort of weight. And squatted for over a year. 3rd week, 140 kilos. Come on. Big legs!
Big legs, honey!
Ish! Ish! Feet up, chaps! Now the difference I've noticed in the gyms in France compared to those in the UK, firstly there's a lot more natural bodybuilders in France than there are in the UK. There's a lot more steroid use in the UK, and I particularly don't like steroids. I've always been natural. So it's nice to go into a gym in France and not see any steroid meatheads, as I call them. Everyone's natural, and it was great for me because I've been in gyms in the UK where they've been full up with steroid boys. You know, I've always perceived myself as being quite small. And when I was into my training, I used to be quite a lean 17 stone. And, you know, I was comparing myself to the doormen that are all on the juice in the UK. And, you know, you're looking at guys that are between 20 and 24 stone, and anything up to sort of 6'8". So I've always been dwarfed by them. And I've always had this image that I've been quite small. However, when I started training in France, firstly, the Breton men are quite short, so you know they're only sort of 5'7" to 5'8". So at 5'10", I'm quite tall, and I was definitely the biggest in the gym, and I was also the strongest by a long way. You know, the whole gym used to stop and watch me bench press. You know, I've never been strong on bench press before. I think my maximum weight was probably 120 kilos for 3 reps. Yet at the age of 40, in the French gym, I was pushing 160 kilos for 3 reps. Mainly because of the audience. Everyone was watching me. And I used to laugh at the end of a set and just say, sorry, I'm really tired today. But that's the biggest thing I've noticed between the difference between gyms in the UK and gyms in France. There aren't so many people using steroids in France. When I went to Lorient, that's a bigger city, I did notice some bigger guys there, and they did look as though they were on the juice. At Pontivy, there wasn't anyone there on the gear. And it was a nice feeling, you know, because you go into some of the gyms in the UK, and you maybe have 50% of the guys on steroids, the gym atmosphere is so aggressive, and it's a horrible place to train. And a lot of people get injured as well, because there's this macho thing that I can bench press more than you, and you see a lot of injuries. You know, people aren't looking after themselves, and they're not thinking straight because of the steroids, and they're doing too much. And you know, you hear of so many people who are ripping their pectoral muscles because they're trying too much, injuring their shoulders. Hey, but that's after 40 years of training, not steroids. So there's a huge difference. The one thing I've also noticed about the difference of gyms in the UK and gyms in France there aren't so much free weights. They tend to rely more on machines, and I'm old school and I love to use free weights, you know, throwing weights around. So for me, I've always loved the sort of spit and sawdust type gyms where people just go there to lift weights and just try to get as big as they can. And that's how I prefer to train. Yeah, my hero was always Tom Platz, and he was known for his legs, and he was a phenomenal bodybuilder. And when I was younger, in my 20s, you know, I bought his book about bodybuilding, professional bodybuilding, and he was known for his training intensity. I used to train as though I was him. I'd get into the mindset that I was Tom Platz, and I'd be pushing myself, and I'd be thinking, would Tom be giving up at this point? No, he'd do a couple more reps, and then he'd strip some weight off. And I used to train as though I was Tom Platz, and I think that's why I did so well. You know, I was actually training with the steroid boys on legs, and I was doing as much weight as they were. The weight I got up to was, how much was it? 220 kilos for 3 reps, and that was deep reps. You know, you see a lot of guys, you know, they're struggling on 140 kilos. So for me to do 220 for 3 reps, it showed, you know, how strong I was over the period. Guys, the other thing you don't see regarding bodybuilding in France compared to the UK, in the UK, in most large towns, you'll come across nutritional food shops. You know, shops that are selling lots of protein powders and all amino acids and all your sort of vitamins and so forth. You don't see that in France because they're not so much into the bodybuilding. The French don't really tend to get into the bodybuilding as much. So there aren't as many nutritional shops in France as there is in the UK. guys, I hope you've enjoyed this short video on life in France versus the UK and the difference between UK gyms and French gyms. If you haven't already, please subscribe to this channel and don't forget to hit the red button so you don't miss any future releases. Thanks for watching and I'll see you again soon. Take care everybody.
Bye.